Story 1. Excessive humble bragging posts are common. Almost all the couples I have seen who do that on my social media are now broken up. I can't help but feel that there is a correlation. Story 2. Controlling another's actions involves preventing them from seeing friends or family, engaging in hobbies, or doing anything alone for themselves. Story 3. Not giving each other the benefit of the doubt when a miscommunication occurs. Quick to assume the worst or fall into negative habits. Story 4. When one party starts a fight to keep the relationship interesting or to spice things up, it seems unreasonable to me. While conflicts or arguments are quite normal, initiating one simply to avoid a boring relationship is absurd. Story 5. When they make constant little digs at each other in a group setting, they may claim to be joking, but you can tell they are not. Story 6. One party makes numerous concessions for the other, which is one-sided. One person compromises while the other just takes without giving anything in return. Desperate individuals allow themselves to be taken advantage of because they worry they won't find another partner or that they will be too old to have children soon. When someone who is not selfish comes along to support the downtrodden partner, or when the selfish person crosses a significant boundary, the relationship falls apart easily. Story 7. When they have vastly different life and family goals. For example, one wants children and the other does not. Story 8. Constantly sharing their relationship on social media. One partner often appears needy, controlling, or manipulative. Story 9. Correcting each other in public when it's unnecessary. Joking but really being mean, sly comments, and put-downs are not acceptable behavior. Saying, "Oh, we just joke around like that," does not justify it. Story 10. Reading the Ada threads and all the posts about, "My spouse suggested we open the marriage up to explore reasons." Story 11. One aspect I haven't seen mentioned yet is when the mother, family, or friends dictate the relationship. I understand pointing out legitimate concerns or warning signs. However, the level of jealousy and toxic behavior I encounter on online forums, where the mother, family, or friends intentionally ruin the relationship with the help of the significant other, is alarming. Story 12. If they have strongly conflicting plans for their future, it means they will either break up eventually or one or both will end up in an unhappy compromise. Story 13. Always critical of each other. People need to admire, and respect one another for a strong relationship. Story 14. When the relationship is adversarial and not nurturing, your partner should truly be that. A partner on a team who supports you and shares both wins and losses. Many people mistakenly believe a relationship is zero-sum and that they have to win within it, leading to pure unhappiness. Story 15. I love that the top comment is a game advertisement that says, "Fast-paced shootout." That is technically the best answer. Story 16. I give them 6 months. What makes you say that? I don't know. Oh, remember Diane's 35th birthday party when Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter got into a huge screaming match over whether or not Tony Curtis was dead? Story 17. When my ex-best friend said she was mad at her girlfriend, she sat in the passenger seat while her girlfriend was driving and put the car in park. They also had the police called on them a couple of times. They are still together and often post captions like, "We have our hard times, but we are so strong together. Give me a break." Story 18. When one refuses to listen to the advice of the other, or when there is a lot of cheating. Story 19. Correcting minor irrelevant details when someone is telling a story to a separate group. Last Thursday, we went to Olive Garden, and just as the breadsticks arrived, you won't believe it, but my old college roommate, whom I haven't seen in years, was seated at the table next to us. Actually, honey, it was when the salad arrived. Story 20. I know people who post about their wonderful soulmate, but they change their boyfriends every 6 months. Everyone is the one until he's not anymore. Story 21. Any sort of he or she doesn't do the chores. If the issue is significant enough, they tell friends about it, and communication is usually not possible or productive. Eventually, someone will be upset about the greasy pan placed in a sink full of soapy dishes, and that's that. Story 22. I was hanging out with someone while cooking, and she said, "Oh, take a video of me stirring this. so that my boyfriend knows that I'm actually doing what I said I was doing and not out cheating on him. They also bought a house together within 6 months. Story 23. I have to ask my husband if I can go. One partner gets upset if the other even glances at someone else or has a celebrity crush. Shared social media accounts. Every post they make is about how much they love each other. They only discuss each other or their relationship. One of them has a substance abuse issue. Story 24. Heard a female friend say about her fiancé, "Oh, he's my little project." It lasted just over a year. Shocking. Story 25. Money handling differences can lead to conflicts. A spender paired with a saver may create tension, but it's even more challenging with two spenders. What I am buying is fun, while what you are buying is foolish. Story 26. Point scoring involves keeping track of who won arguments, who spent last weekend with friends and for how long, and making snippy remarks about these situations in front of friends and family. When an argument inevitably arises, individuals often bring out that mental tally and use it as a verbal weapon to win the argument. I have seen this happen in several couples, all of whom divorced within 10 years. Story 27. Not being mentally or morally strong enough to have their wedding the way they want it, and caving in to the mothers who have always dreamed of how their child's wedding would be. Story 28. When people at the wedding whisper, "Pray to God, she never has kids," adding the second comment, "She's going to take him for everything he's got." Story 29. When it is obvious they do not like each other, it may sound silly, but sometimes I am around certain couples who do not laugh at the same things, do not share any hobbies or interests, and constantly make little playful jabs. If you are not friends, you are not going to make it. Story 30. According to the Gottman Institute, which studies relationships, it's in the small interactions that matter. They discuss bids for connection, which refer to any time your spouse or partner wants to interact. For example, one person might say, "Oh, look, a bird," and how the other reacts can either build trust or undermine it. A simple, "Oh, yeah," is enough to foster trust. They don't have to do much at all. Ignoring a partner or responding negatively by sighing, criticizing, or mocking can erode trust. Regular positive interactions indicate a healthy relationship, while regular negative interactions suggest an unhealthy one. Story 31. I randomly run into an acquaintance accompanied by someone who is not their partner or spouse. Then I see this acquaintance posting on social media a picture with their partner or spouse, and possibly their children, with a caption about how they are their whole world and thanking them for making them a better person. Every single time. To clarify for those who found my post confusing, I meant that they were doing something inappropriate with a person who is not their partner or spouse. I assumed that my response to a question about what indicates a couple is not going to make it would provide enough context. I did not mean to suggest that any interaction with someone who is not your partner is wrong. Story 32. Controlling, jealous behavior includes snooping on each other's phones, looking through personal belongings, and projecting motives and actions onto one another. Story 33. When you can feel that they are not speaking to each other, they might put on a show at the restaurant or with friends. However, you notice that every time they have to talk to maintain the facade, the other person responds with as few words as possible and no emotions. When my ex-wife and I were getting closer to the end, the silent treatment became our go-to tactic for both of us. It quickly became tiresome and others noticed it fast. Story 34. Power imbalance can arise from various factors, including differences in education, appearance, earning potential, social skills, luck, self-discipline, mismatched libidos, and the capacity to manipulate or deceive. When there is an inequality in power, the potential for contempt to take root increases. Once contempt takes hold, the relationship is likely doomed. I have seen this happen numerous times. Story 35. Not every situation is black or white. I have been a bridesmaid 16 times, and I can tell you that couples who spend a lot of money on their wedding are often the ones who do not last, in my experience. This is usually because they are more interested in having a big party than in being in love with each other and making their marriage work. Story 36. Not laughing together. My husband and I would go to therapy and do the work, then go out and laugh about our issues over dinner. We laugh at each other but also don't take it too far. Story 37. The groom receiving oral pleasure from the entertainer at a bachelor party, or conversely, the bride performing oral pleasure on the entertainer at a bachelorette party. Story 38. People who tease their partners can be unkind. Tonight, my husband made a rude but accurate joke about my singing voice and immediately apologized because it came out a bit harsh, saying, "Why do you listen to music I hate in the shower and sing along with your pitchy voice?" We were relaxed and alone, and he apologized for making fun of me. I promptly reminded him that he can be just as bad, and we had a laugh. Couples who engage in aggressive teasing in public are unlikely to thrive. It is clear that having a sense of humor is important in a relationship, at least to me, but it should not be intentionally cruel, especially in public, as that is degrading. Story 39. Meanness occurs when you hear insulting or degrading comments directed at another person. I have been happily married for 26 years, and even during our worst disagreements, we have never resorted to saying mean things to each other. When I hear a couple engaging in such behavior, I know their relationship is unlikely to last because the respect is gone. Story 40. When a husband stops doing chores, the wife may lose attraction, leading to a dead bedroom. The husband may feel resentful while the wife feels pestered. Story 41. When one or both people initiate a relationship by cheating on someone else, it raises concerns. My rule of thumb is that if someone cheats on another person with you, they are likely to cheat on you with someone else. In my experience, the narcissistic traits that lead someone to cheat are nearly impossible to change in adulthood. It baffles me why anyone would want to be with someone who feels comfortable emotionally harming others. Story 42. When they don't do anything without the other one present. They get haircuts, visit family, and hang out with friends together. Story 43. When one partner shows below minimum effort and the other is blindly in love, the one in love will eventually get tired. This is the nature of love. Nothing seems to matter, and one becomes blinded to everything until they face a harsh reality. Story 44. The majority of the couples I have seen with a combined Facebook presence are either divorced or seem to be on the verge of it every time I see them. There has only been one exception. Story 45. One person is posting in "Am I the asshole?" Most of the time they are deemed a bad match, and Reddit will point this out. Story 46. If one person has no respect for the other, it can lead to various issues. Common examples include 1. Making fun of the other person's hobbies. Making fun of the other person's quirks. Embarrassing the other person in front of friends and claiming it was just a joke. Pushing the limits of what the other person can tolerate. Comparing your partner to someone else's partner. Manipulating the other person. Another red flag is if one person continues to associate with undesirable friends and takes their advice. These types of individuals can negatively impact your relationships. Story 47. When they talk negatively about their partner to their group of friends or family, then go back to them as if they had not said those things. Story 48. When one person is negative and complains frequently, while the other person is extremely positive and motivated. Story 49. My friend has a girlfriend with significant emotional baggage. She wasn't feeling satisfied, so she broke up with him. They got back together a few days later. Fast forward 10 months. She again is not feeling satisfied. She cheats on him and lies about her whereabouts. She eventually admits it and breaks up with him. 3 weeks later, they are getting back together again. So, to answer the question, it's whatever they have going on. Story 50. Long messages on monthly anniversaries often reveal an attempt to convince oneself of something that isn't there. Story 51. When one side seems to do all the work in a relationship, it often does not last. Generally, these relationships end in one of two ways. Either the person doing all the work realizes they are handling everything and tells the other person to leave, or the person contributing nothing raises their expectations for the amount of effort the other person should invest until the other person fails to meet those expectations. This can lead the non-contributing person to search for someone else to exploit. Story 52. My coworker was boasting that a girl he had been on 3 dates with had already allowed him to do everything he ever wanted to with her sexually. That made me feel like she was desperate, and he would quickly become bored. Story 53. When people get a tattoo of each other's names as a tattoo artist, the number of names I have covered up is sadly amusing. Story 54. I provided catering services at many weddings during my university years. The higher the spending on the wedding, compared to the norm influenced by wealth and culture, the more likely it is that the couple will be divorced within 5 years. Story 55. I just expressed that I couldn't continue with someone I was with for a little over a year. There were many things I couldn't reconcile, but the main deciding factor was that his ex was in his friend group, and he would go out drinking and hanging out with them frequently. I had never met his ex or half of his friends because he didn't want to invite me. He was worried it would be awkward for them and didn't want them to exclude him because of me. It's disappointing, but I have definitely learned more about what I need from a relationship. Despite this, he is a sweet person. He wants to work on himself, and I hope we can remain friends and support each other. Story 56. Any social media post that says, "Through all our ups and downs, you'll always be the best friend I could ever have," suggests a doomed relationship. Anyone posting an anniversary or birthday message that emphasizes ups and downs may be indicating underlying issues. Story 57. Everyone has a chance, but these are significant warning signs. I haven't seen these yet. One spouse has no idea how much money they have and is completely unaware of the financial situation. He claims they don't have money to replace the dishwasher, but she cannot verify this, even though he goes out drinking every night. She has no knowledge of their finances or what the money is used for. One spouse maintains a separate life that they fiercely protect, whether it involves friends or an online presence. They do not put their phone down or allow you to see any of their emails, chats, or history. This is often a sign that they feel the need to hide something. One spouse treats the other as if they are one of the children. This behavior often coincides with feelings of contempt. Story 58. Whenever they only complain about each other and have nothing nice to say to anyone else, it is clear they may struggle. A couple that lasts a long time is able to joke around while also providing reassurance and love when needed. They understand the importance of balance because they pay attention to and care for one another. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.